2021, and we're still here. This is our first episode of the year. If you're listening to this podcast, then you made it as well. Congratulations. And at the same time,
subscribe.
That and our condolences, this year's been hard. 2020 was a whirlwind. And we've been really excited to get back to this dungeon. I think as everybody, we are taking care of personal life. Now we're back,
expanding our personal businesses.
Exactly. It's not. It hasn't all been bad, which you'll learn later on in the episode.
Absolutely.
As we record this intro, though, it's the end of May, so the rest of this episode was recorded back in January, and things have changed. So there's some information here that needs to be updated, but we believe that you're going to enjoy the episode regardless.
And we put some fun little bloopers in it, so a little bit of special sauce, if you will, for this episode.
Oh God, yeah. So as in always, we're trying to improve. We're listening to our fans, and you know what I mean. One of the things that we hear a lot is that people love just our banter. They love our conversational style. They love our differences and how music, so we actually decided to keep a lot of that rawness in the episode, and we'll think you'll appreciate it. We'll always appreciate any comment, any feedback. You can go to Dis Dungeon on IG. You can find this on tobeseen.com. You can find this on madebyaudios.com. Anywhere where you listen to a podcast, just type in Dis Dungeon and we're there.
Hello, and welcome to the Dis Dungeon, where we put you on to musics and melodies in the deepest, darkest dungeons of your computer disk. I'm your co-host, Joe Dove, and with me, as always,
Julian Valencia. And if there's one thing we love talking about, it's music.
This episode, I'm putting Julian on to the Gunship.
That's right. This is the second time, actually, that you put me onto the Gunship.
Yes, and then you're putting me on to
RX Bandits.
Which is the second time you're putting me onto that band. So this is a recycle of artists, but not an episode. This isn't a rerun, folks.
It is 2021, so yeah, I hope you recycle.
I do.
Okay, just making sure, because then, that would pretty much be the end of the episode.
Yeah.
Guys, but no, I took another journey on the Gunship, and the first time around, I wasn't impressed. This time, though, I got to say that they did it. They did it. That they've officially made me interested in the synthwave genre.
Join us. Welcome, Julian. All right, the synthwave.
Get over here.
And I got my vaccine early with the RX Bandits once again, and I was super excited.
Get it? RX, pharmaceutical.
RX, pharmaceuticals, vaccine,
Oh, guys. Oh, and by the way, we're still wearing our masks. We both have our vaccines. We both have, at this point, our antibodies as well.
Yeah, we're good to go.
But, you can never be too safe.
Yeah. Well, enjoy the episode. Like us on Facebook. Follow us on Instagram. And subscribe and rate the podcast.
Yeah, so you put me on to Dark All Day. This album came out in 2018. It's a dance, electronic, 80s resurgence of synth. The general motif and themes and what they're talking about in the music is it's definitely a dystopian era. It's like a sci-fi. It's like music to a sci-fi film. A lot of addiction. There's addiction and drugs. Kind of like the theme of no hope, and then at times finding hope with it when everything is lost. Yeah, man. I mean, so true to their name, I do feel like I'm on a ship during some dystopian era, kind of like Mad Max, but on the water.
Or Escape from New York.
Have not seen that.
I'm going to have to get you to see that. I'm going to start bringing my DVD collection over here.
I don't even know what a DVD is.
What? Young boy.
But I'd like to get off the ship from time to time. But it seems like we're too deep into the ocean and we're forced to stay on board. So I might be getting a little seasick. This album came out in 2018, and it contributes to the resurgence of 80s dance music overall. A great example of this in mainstream music now is The Weeknd's 2020 album, After Hours. The difference between Gunship's album and 80s dance music, though, is the sound quality. The production is perfectly balanced. You feel the drums when you need to, and the songs are dynamic, clear, and beautifully composed. 80s music is great, but, in 2021, we're leaps and bounds in terms of
Like technology.
technology in music, and overall how that affects the quality of this music. So, there's just no comparison in that sense, but they definitely stay true to the origin of what 80s music is, synthwave music. So we start off with song number 1.
Put on the new flesh like gloves and burn your fingers once again.
Wow, that was scary.
Yeah, that's the intro. I think that's a nod to...
But just like that is essentially what Woken Furies did to me. It woke me up. It didn't. I mean, I wasn't necessarily furious, but it woke me up, and I knew what I was getting into, and I liked it. The instrumentation, I was intrigued, and I said to myself, okay, I think I'm going to enjoy this just simply from listening to song number 1.
When I first saw that song title and didn't really pay attention, I skimmed it. Thought it was Woken Furries. Just want to throw that out there.
Like a kids movie, Woken Furries. Song number 2, Dark All Day. I just love the saxophone. You hear this a lot throughout the album in general, but in this song in particular, there's just the saxophone all throughout, and it's a self-titled song, and it does it justice. Dark All Day kind of sounds like what a vampire would love.
Yes.
To be in.
Yes, we'll get into that.
Song number 3. This was one of my. I had 3 favorites on here, and this was number 3. I would say, When You Grow Up, Your Heart Dies. So immediately, the title of the song is just epic, and at first you think he believes the title, but in the intro, you start to see that he doesn't want to accept this concept. He says, "When you grow up, your heart dies. Just keep holding that secret code by your side." So it's clear that that there's this notion that as we grow up, we lose something. We lose this inner child that we have, and so he's essentially saying, hold on to that, because that is the secret to life. And at the end of the album, at the end of the song, in the interlude of that song, there's it sounds like voicemails, like somebody's going through the voicemails, and it's like a barrage of inspirational quotes. And so you hear, "Whatever will be, will be. Don't care what anyone else thinks. You'll be okay, I promise. Just keep on keeping on. It's just a bad day, not a bad life. I'll always be there for you. I swear the breath from my lungs. You'll feel it when you know. Life is worth the risk. Live long and prosper.
No, there you go. You got it.
Believe in yourself and create your own destiny. Don't fear failure." So again, very ties into the whole when you grow up, your heart dies. And it's just overall inspirational, you know what I mean? And I think that it in general the album is pretty dark, it's pretty emo. So this song in itself was was nice to have something uplifting. Song number 4, the Drone Racing League. I'll just skip over it because it's not to me in general. There was nothing really too memorable about this song. Song number 5, Rise the Midnight Girl. There's a sick line, and it says, "There's a monster trapped on the other side. This monster has become my home." So I don't know. It's a sick line, and I think that every human being can relate to this at one point or another. We all deal with the monster, and that monster is ourselves 99% of the time.
Our older selves.
Or, yeah, I guess so. Our younger selves, maybe?
No, older. Totally. You become the parent you didn't like when you get older.
Wow. Do we need to have a therapy session?
No. I'm just mentioning it.
Song number 6. Song number 6, I would say, is my favorite song on this
That's
album.
also my favorite song off this album. Yeah, Thrasher is such a dope song.
Yeah.
Very 9 Inch Nails.
Very 9 Inch Nails. Yeah. Thrasher is it gets you moving right off the bat. You know what you're getting into. You're getting thrashed. Mm-hmm. And there's the epic line is, "I need a fucking hero." and that's pretty much the attitude of the song throughout. Song number 7. Honestly, just the title of the song, Black Blood, Red Kiss, had me, just kind of had me thinking for a bit before I actually listened to the song. Just had me thinking, what does that mean? Black Blood can't be good. Red Kiss, it can be good or it can be bad. Depends on who this red kiss is coming from.
I wonder if it's a vampire really.
I mean, there you go. Yeah, it kind of seems like this. Honestly, their music would fit.
Yeah,
in a 80s vampire flick. I heard some in the chord progressions. I heard some late 90s and early 2000 chord progressions at the end of the song. It kind of like shifted, which was interesting. It also gave me some Limp Bizkit vibes. Put it on the nookie. Did it all for the nookie. Yeah, the nookie.
What happened to them?
I don't know, man. I mean,
took their money and ran.
Yeah, they made money. It also reminds me of a band I put you on to on an earlier episode called Brand New.
Oh yeah.
Especially in the singer's voice. There's this like emo, like whiny, like in a good way. Don't all the Gunship fans on there, don't gun me down.
Oh.
But in a good way. But definitely, I've heard it before. And there's this line in that song. He says, "Nothing stings like the buzz of my black blood and red kiss." So
Vampire.
yeah, this is definitely about
vampire
vampires.
song.
Yeah, I'm just realizing that now it's definitely about vampires.
Absolutely.
Song number 8, Time After Time.
Oh, I love this version.
It's the song Time After Time, Time After Time.
From the beautiful Cyndi Lauper.
That's
not how it goes.
Oh no.
No. Time after time. Da, 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 da. I can't sing, so I can't really help you get there, but
Time after time, time after time after. Wow. This cover was a flashback. It wasn't bad at all. I still prefer the original, but I would dance a little harder to this version for sure.
mosh pit time after time.
Yeah, for sure. So if you like Cyndi Lauper's version, or this would be
And
intriguing.
you're a Gunship fan. This is going to be your elevated.
Yeah, exactly. This is you. Mm-hmm. Number 9 pretty much does the same thing as 4 for me. Not much of a memorable song for me. So I'll move on to number 10, which was my second favorite song on this album, Artemis and Parzival. Wow, I love the melody on the song. Immediately, the female vocals, the melody is catchy, and then the way that the male singer responds to the mountain of fire.
I will see you there.
Yeah, that definitely, I would say that's probably one of the only choruses that I remember from this album, and I put it on my playlist. Actually, this is a good time to talk about playlists.
There it is.
Disc Dungeon is creating a Spotify and YouTube playlist. It's called Disc Dungeon Playlist. So it's very simple and straightforward. And we put each other on to basically 2 different albums every week. So what we're doing is we're choosing 1 or 2 favorites from each album and putting it on this playlist for you. So we're creating the best of the dungeon, as I just made up right now. Check that out. Every week we'll be updating that with our favorite songs, and subscribe and let us know if you like it as well.
You can also hear our other episodes that you may have missed in this thing. You can find it on 2bc.com, on madebyaudios.com, and our playlist can be found on the Disc Dungeon. If you just type in Disc Dungeon, it'll come up as the playlist. And you can hear some of our old episodes and be turned on to more magic worlds.
So back to Dark All Day. There's 3 more songs: Symmetrical, Cyber City, and The Gates of Disorder. And I would say that the song, instrumentally, it finishes strong. I don't think at that point there's really anything that tops the melody and the catchiness of Artemis and Parzival. But all in all, as much as I do love the glam, emo vocals, arpeggiated synths, guitar solos, and epic drum beats, I was hoping for a song or 2 that switched things up.
You want an acoustic version?
I don't know, just maybe something that wasn't so 80s, but as a whole, it feels, because of that, it feels kind of one-dimensional. I might be asking for something that this band doesn't really care to provide, but in 2020, I tend to expect it, and I even think that they're capable of delivering. I give them a 9 out of 10.
You're so needy.
Losing 1 point simply due to my own expectations. A dogmatic decision, per se. But overall, I had a lot of fun listening to the album, and I'm really glad you did, because there's some songs that are on repeat now after listening to this album.
Uploading Dungeon Browser.
Gunship's song Cthulhu is featured on Holydoom, a compilation album streaming on Fangoria.com, which features all the top synthwave artists of today. In 2019, Gunship appeared in The Rise of the Simps, a documentary that followed the growth of synthwave genre, narrated by John Carpenter. Their biggest song is called Tech Noir. It features an intro from 80s synth founder John Carpenter, who created the soundtracks for Halloween and The Thing. The title, Tech Noir, is also a nod to 1984's The Terminator. That was the name of the dance club where Sarah Connor first encountered the Terminator. Gunship uses several different types of synthesizers, one of which is called Moog, Mother 32, a commonly used sound in the 1980s. Song Artemis and Parzival is a nod to Ready Player One, an 80s pop culture book and film. Dark All Day is a song and video, which features saxophone player Tom Capello, who also appeared in the film Lost Boys.
So, Joe, this week I put you on to the RX Bandits. The album was called The Resignation. Tell me what you thought.
Well, starting right off the top with the album cover, it reminded me of a Tool album, which is not a bad thing at all. I like Tool. It's a lot of Barty and abstract art coming together to present something beautiful to you right off the bat. Years ago, especially when I used to run the streets, album covers were a marketing tool to draw you into the band in the hopes that you would buy the album and that you would like the music. In this case, it was a big win. Their intro is a multi-layered surprise. Sell You Beautiful introduces you to the band, throws a little rock and ska, progressive, right all up in your face. It's a setup right away. The lyric that stands out the most is, I'm so obsessed with looking like celebrities, I make myself throw up. It reminds me of the hours you spend looking on Instagram. And while we're talking about Instagram, make sure to follow us on Instagram, Dis Dungeon. Just throwing it out there.
Shameless plug.
Shameless plug. Prophetic was a cool song. Doesn't stand out to me as much as my favorite songs, especially Newsstand Rock. Time to Manufacture the Illusion of Safety. I had to look at that up. The rest of the lyrics to the song pulled me in the most. Now America has a brand new war. Can anybody tell me what we're fighting for? Time to manufacture the illusion of safety. Don't fear, just consume. Hold up the economy. I feel like there's a lot of fake stability in the American economy. Like the American dream is kind of like a false narrative. It's not really a dream anymore, because sometimes when you get into these debts to get to that dream, you end up becoming an American nightmare. And I'm a product of that, so I totally get that. This was such a great song. It hit me the most. It hit me the hardest because of the lyrics themselves. Song number 4, Overcome. I like this one a lot because it taps back into that Newsstand Rock song. It's so easy to buy into whatever we're being sold. The endless need to be a consumption economy is literally killing us. And in 2020, we saw a war happen between a virus and common sense. So I felt that was pretty deep. I Never Slept So Soundly is very groovy. It almost sounds like an acid jazz song at first. And then it dives into a heavy rock song. It's chaotic, and both of those genres embrace that in different ways. It's interesting how the band brings you to these elements in one song instead of separating that into different songs. It's pretty dope. They set the pace early, and I expected it to be that way in each song, and then it just pops you in the middle of it with a mellow track to bridge the rest of the album. It's like those ebb and flows. It takes you up, and it brings you down. Kind of like being on some RX. You know what I mean? pharmaceutical stuff.
Oh, some pharmaceuticals.
Some pharmaceuticals. Taking chase as the serpent slithers. Now, folks, I had a hard time trying to read this song. I was thinking Chase Bank at one point.
Taking chase over.
Yeah, with serpent slithers.
Anarchy.
It's the street love song. That's totally what it is. I feel like he's singing his heart out on this one. He's going to fuck up his throats. That's how hard he's singing. It's so much fun. If you love slapping the bass with your music, as I do from time to time, this is going to be your go-to. Republic was cool. Not really anything to write home about. Mastering the List. I love the song. And that mid-drop, it serves as the antithesis of the first song, since it's a lot more mellow, but there's still something here to get you up and get you moving. The rest of the album is very cool. You got Falling Down, Dina Dong, Pal Tricks. You're going to have to like jump in and get me pronouncing these right. Just go ahead.
Falling Down. Dina Dog.
Yeah, there we go.
Not dog.
No, I got really Caucasian.
Paul. This one I don't know.
I think it's Paula Tricks.
Paula.
No, because there's no Pal Tricks. Why don't you bands start making this shit easy? Like, call it Tim.
Timmy.
This is our song, Tim. You're going to love it.
Timmy. Oh, Timmy.
Falling Down, Dinner Dog, Paul Tarix, and Discrescendo. And God damn it. Discrescendo. Decrescendo. And Decrescendo. It was a dope album, and it was a great intro into the band, revisit into the band. And like I said, the thing that stood out the most, my favorite songs were Newsstand Rock and Taking the Chase of the Serpent Slithers. I gave this a 9 out of 10. And you'll find this in the ska, prog rock, reggae, and a lot of the motifs here are politics and modern slaves.
Uploading Dungeon Browser.
The band originally formed in 1995 as the Pharmaceutical Bandits. They released 6 full-length albums as the RX Bandits and a slew of other special releases. They have opened up for and played alongside the following bands: Portugal The Man, Maps and Atlases, The Bloodhound Gang, Goldfinger, Real Big Fish, and Newfound Glory. RX has always been known for their activism and philanthropy. In 2020, they did 2 rounds of Black Lives Matter merchandise, and in the first round raised over $5,000 in donations. The lead singer Matthew Ombre is still active in 3 different bands, including the RX Bandits, The Sound of Animals Fighting, and Dispatch. Data deloading. Joe, it's interesting that for episode 30, we put each other on to, honestly, one band is just stuck in the dystopian era, and the other band is kind of just unhappy with where they are and how things are, So it's as if this theme of chaos and anarchy and of standing up for what's not right and not being okay with the things are, honestly, I feel like it's a theme that just recurs over and over and over in just our lives in general, and I think that, our next section, Music Saves Lives, is just a perfect time and example of us to talk about how important music is in general to getting us through, to helping us cope, to helping us voice our opinions, to basically, through a song, through lyrics, shouting out, coming together as a community, getting behind a specific idea, just venting, complaining. I don't know, just music really does have the power to save lives. And as we start this section, I want to start this section by honoring the victims of COVID-19 with the moment of silence.
500,000 Americans have perished because of COVID-19. It is a terrible statistic, and one that could have been easily avoided if certain things were not politicized. It's a shame that it turned out this way, but
it's not shocking,
no.
especially in the United States. I mean, I think that it's a moment of introspection, for all of us. Not only could we have done things better, but just, it really exposes, what the RX Bandits are talking about in their music. You know what I mean? The things that we idolize and the way that our system works and what we deem important and what we focus our energy on as a society is what's killing us, and it's what's holding us back from progressing. You know what I mean? We for a long time, the U.S. has not been this great country. You talked about the American dream.
Being an American nightmare.
It is for so many. It is an American nightmare now, and and you can still say, it's a first world country, and you can't come. There's third world countries out there, and there's people living in poverty, and you're right. And by no means am I saying that living in the United States is, I'm not grateful. I don't fear for my life. I live very comfortably. I'm privileged in many ways, but I always want better. You know what I mean? We are a role model for other societies, for other countries, and we are just not setting a good precedent.
No, because we had a bad president, we set a bad precedent.
There you go.
Yeah.
And so the events of this year, I guess for me personally have just been, it's been pretty epic, to be honest. I started off this year separating, divorce. My mom's mental health deteriorated. I found myself in Mexico at one point, finding, retrieving, and bringing my mom home back during the midst of the quarantine, like literally when shit went down. I was stuck in Mexico for about 10 days because I couldn't fly back, again, because of the restrictions and what was going on. I found myself laid off from my job. A month later, I opened up, we opened up a music studio in Williamsburg. Audios has been moving. This dungeon has been doing great. We've been able to meet. We've seen a different side of people now with this, with not even mandate, because it's not even mandated to wear masks. It's just suggested still. And
the selfishness of the Americans is uncanny.
Yeah, selfishness is definitely, it's definitely a monster.
Yeah.
that monster that Gunship was talking about has reared its ugly head, and Trump losing the presidency was
the
probably
best thing, but he didn't go quietly.
Yeah,
so
he didn't go quietly.
People died because of that.
6
people died.
6 people died
because of his
directly, and then we're not even referring to the thousands of people that died indirectly because of the administration.
Exactly.
We had tons of celebrities die. Kobe Bryant passed away this year. That to me personally was just that was a huge loss. The
woman from Hidden Figures died. Catherine,
I don't know who that is.
Oh, Hidden Figures. It was the story of the reason why we got to the moon is because it's a mathematician.
Oh wait,
yeah, she died.
The black woman?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, she died this year. Yeah. She was the one left, and she passed
She's such
away.
a great actress.
No. The real woman that was based on.
Oh. You know what else died? Well, the American economy died this year. Just record job losses, record numbers of people on unemployment.
And the people that stayed in their jobs are receiving record numbers of stress because their work gets piled up.
Exactly. Now you're doing the job of 4, 5, 6 other people. Man, I mean...
And that's like the dystopian rearing its ugly head from Gunship.
And then it
just felt dark all day in 2020.
Oh, there you go. That's a good metaphor.
Yeah, I try. I have them.
Yeah, I mean, and honestly, guys, we're preaching to the choir because if you're listening to this, you also you survived 2020. So honestly, that's our message from the dungeon as we finally come out like What's the name of that animal that comes out and you know if it's going to be a long winter or short
Oh,
winter?
the groundhog?
Exactly. So we're like groundhogs coming out of the dungeon, popping our heads out, just looking at all the wreck and just being grateful that we're alive and the people that we love are alive. You know, maybe not all of them, but, you know, just being grateful for those who are still here.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, guys. I mean, overall, just truly grateful to be alive, to be sharing this moment with you, Joe, and with the people who are around me and family that is still with us. And again, truly sorry and my condolences to anybody who suffered loss in this during this pandemic. You know, but I'm also grateful for Audios, and you know, even though 2020 was the year that it was also our biggest year. We were able to open up a music studio. We were able to release music. We were able to work with tons of artists. And as always in our Behind the Beats section, we want to give you a little glimpse of what we do at Audios. Audios is a music production company. We also do artist development. We have a design department. So you can essentially be an artist. You can have a song written down, voice note. That's all you have. We can work with that. You bring that voice note to Audios. We'll make you a song. We'll make you your cover art. We'll help you write the lyrics. We'll mix it. We'll master it. We'll promote you, and we'll help you get your own promotion. We'll make sure that your brand identity makes sense and it goes through, that you're marketing to the right audience. We're honestly a one-stop shop for artists out there, and we're truly grateful and honored to be working with all the artists that we are. Ronell Fuller, Cara Z, Justin Escobar, is Nate McDaniel. We have, you know, Phoenix Eve, Lou Lamas. I mean, the list is endless. You know, we're located in New York City, and if you would like more information on us, you can find us on www.madebyaudios.com. This dungeon is sponsored and produced by Audios. You can also find it on
tobeseen.com. It is your time to get seen on the internet. So reach out to tobeseen.com's founder, that's me, Joe Dove, at 2, the number 2, BESCENE, where we bring you high-quality video production, as you're seeing here in this video rendition on YouTube of the Dis Dungeon. Our high-quality camera will take you into the 22nd secretary as you get on the internet. Get seen with tobeseen.com.
I mean, his was definitely better than mine.
It's just short.
And guys, and so we've been working on our website for a while, and it's ready. March 13th, 2021. The moon
shall align with the sun and the stars. There shall be a great dissidence. There shall be a beam from the universe to properly place Made by Audios.
Actually, we coincide our releases with the phases of the moon.
Oh,
so
dope.
on March 13th, it's actually a new moon.
Nice.
Which is the reason why we're releasing our BeatStars. So you can find us Made by Audios on beatstars.com.
Dope.
You can purchase our services online. You can check out Dis Dungeon stats and episodes, and also redirect to tobeseen.com and also disdungeon.com. You can find out more about the team, more about what we do, our stories. We also have virtual sessions as well. And if you don't know what virtual sessions are, go to madebyaudios.com and you will be known. You will be known.
There you go. So we come to the end, my friend.
We're here.
We're here. We're at Tricks of the Keys. So this one's going to be a weird one. There's some interpretations, different interpretations of this one, and it's one of my favorite songs by Seal. Now, Seal is sort of like the yang to Sting. It's yang. Okay? Did you say boo?
Yeah, I just booed Seal.
Don't boo Seal. Seal's good. Come on. No, not that seal.
Okay.
He can't sing. Or it can't sing. So the song Color, and for those of you that are familiar with the King's English, it's Colour. Color. If you sang it as an American, you'd be like, Color fades away. So it's a beautiful song. It's got an amazing acoustic version. If you ever have the time to Google it and listen to it on acoustic, you will be wowed. Trust me. The lyrics, color fades away with a light descending on the day. Midnight sees your friend. Oh, could you call his name? Would you know his name? Most have no real understanding of the song. Color can be a reference to the substance of life. It is full of colors, wonders, and excitement. You think of colors, you're thinking of exciting moments. Like Disney. Disney always uses a shit ton of colors because that's what draws little kids in. They're like, oh, look at all this color. But if you close your eyes, just like in the song, I close my eyes and dream of only yesterday. If you close your eyes, there's just a gray slate. There's no importance of the color of skin. Seal has mentioned that in this song, it was the idea that you wake up once more and all the color was gone. I think it references the differences between what he's wishing for, a world where people don't use colors against each other. It's probably one of my favorite songs again. I definitely think you should give it a spin and let us know what you think. Well, that brings us to the end, our friends. It's been great wallowing a load in the dungeon with you.
Say what?
Why is that funny?
It sounded like swallowing a load.
Well, that brings us to the end, our friends. The end is bittersweet. But it's where we're going to not leave you in despair and give you a glimmer of hope. Because I found something. I found an item that had been lost to me for years. And in that finding, I found the epic place where I will be putting Julian onto music from now on. And that's my dystopian world iPod, the old wheel spinner. And I found the Ying to Sting's Yang Seal. And I'm going to put you on to the 4th album, and I think you're going to enjoy it or hate it. It's up to you.
Oh, it's interesting you say that because I just recently, there was an album that I just could not remember. And I remembered I loved this band and I loved the album so much. And it wasn't until recently, I don't know what it was, but something just sparked it. And I remembered the band. And this week, I'm going to put you on to a band called Tune Yards.
Okay.
And the album is called Who Kill.
Ooh, that sounds fun.
All right, guys. Well, now you know if you want to get ahead and listen to these albums for next week, we'll enter the dungeon together next week. So as always, I'm Julian Valencia.
And I'm Joe Duff.